And we're back this week with Coach Lou Holtz. Coach, it's great to see you. There's so much news to cover. Glad to have you back today.
Well, thank you. I'm delighted to be back, and you're right. There's always an awful lot of news, but never has it been so controversial as it is at the present time.
It really is. And Coach, we saw over the last 4 years under President Biden, our open borders, all kinds of young men, individuals, groups, families coming into this country, many of whom have criminal backgrounds. We saw that play out and the administration did nothing about it. Now we have the Trump administration in place and they're really following the mandate of the American people in making America safe again. But there's so much controversy around it. And it started this past weekend with the deportations of these foreign terrorist organizations, these Tren de Aragua gang members heading down to El Salvador. And of course, we have a federal judge that tried to block that. President Trump says, again, he's doing the work that the people asked for. Why is this so controversial when we have these violent individuals in our country, murderers, rapists, kidnappers, monsters, as Caroline Leavitt called them? Why are we debating over whether these people should stay or go?
Lack of common sense, that's all it is. You just have to say what's right and what's wrong. I used to have a policy, coaches coach, players play, administrators administrate, reporters report, and there shouldn't be an overlap. Coaches aren't going to play and players aren't going to coach. Well, the same thing, judges should not make policy, but make decisions, and they're trying to do that. Then you come back down to what's right or wrong. And I really am opposed to judges getting a lifetime contract, and people go out and they shop for the right judge. I think there are 3 judges in the a district court because they keep getting the same judges all the time that make these policies. So I just think it really upsets me. And you go back, we're not deporting citizens. When my grandparents came over, all 4 of them came over through Ellis Island. And they came here to become us. And that's all I ask. You want to come here to become us. Don't ask us to become you. I don't care what policy you had. I don't care what was right and wrong in your country. You come here to become us. Don't come here and make us become you. And that's where we've fallen down on since years ago when we had a very good immigration policy. People came here to become us, to raise a family, to work hard, and to have the opportunities.
And, the American people, I think a lot of them have felt so unsafe in their cities. We've seen what played out in places like Aurora, Colorado, and New York City, among so many other places where there's been a lot of violence committed, recidivism on the part of these illegal aliens in our country, these gang members, these terrorists that the Trump administration has designated them as. This district judge that you're referring to that wants to obviously block these deportations, the Daily Wire did some reporting, and I don't know if you saw this, but he was appointed by Obama. He's donated over $11,000 to Democrat candidates, including Hillary Clinton back in 2016. President Trump took to Truth Social today to say that this judge should be impeached. What's your take on that?
Well, I just think let's do the right thing. That's all. It isn't real complicated, but it's just amazing how people can't defend this. When I was at NC State, that was years ago, and I got to know the governor, and I got permission that when I went to speak to a high school or some group, that I could take 2 prisoners with me. Now, they had to be approved, and I had to pick them up and bring them back the same day. And I did that. And you know what? It was really amazing to visit with these prisoners and just to get their concept of life. But what scared my wife to death was I wasn't allowed to bring them home. She didn't want them to know where we lived. She was afraid of it. I can only imagine today what women particularly are fearing with these gangsters here and all the different rapes and murders and everything else that goes along. That's not what this country's all about.
Yeah, I think, Coach, a lot of people, especially the ladies I speak to in our office here at AFPI, that, like to maybe get out and go for a run on the trails. You have to have your head on a swivel these days, whether you're out exercising, you're walking around in our cities. We have to get back to a place where, we're not concerned just walking out the door, or whether we're going to be safe heading to where we have to be.
I think there's a policy, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, and everybody should understand it. It's basically common sense. But when you can't have the Democrats even defend this policy that they're fighting for and arguing about, these aren't citizens. These are visitors. And anybody comes into your home, if they don't behave right, you ask them to leave. It's the same thing here. We are doing what we're allowed to do, and we're doing it for the benefit of the citizens. We forget about the citizens. Everything's about everybody else's rights and privileges. And as Harry Truman said, the freedom to swing your fist ends where the other guy's nose begins. Well, it's the same thing here. Your freedom to do what you want to do ends when you start creating problems for other people. And crime is certainly a problem. That's one of the reasons President Trump was elected. And the government's main objective is to keep you safe from foreign powers, keep you safe within the other rules and regulations. That's what the government's process is. That's their number one objective, and yet they fail that. And when I say the Democrats can't defend it, somebody tell me, stand up and defend why you're fighting for this. Not just because the Republicans passed it, but it's just the way you feel. And, you go back and you look at the waste and abuse and fraud, and everybody's even fighting that now to a certain extent. It's okay, except that I get money from the government, and you're going to take that away. No, all we're trying to do is get rid of the waste, the fraud, and abuse. It's simple, just common sense. Just do the right thing and avoid what's wrong. And if people can't live by those rules, let's ostracize them from this society. And that's all we're trying to do. People make it out like a big thing, but nobody can defend it on the policy of keeping these rapists and murderers and thugs, thieves, etc. in this country. They can't tell me why that's a good thing.
No, it really is common sense, as you say. I don't understand why the left can't get behind this. Again, they want to fight everything this administration does. But I really think, Coach, and I know you must agree with this, the American people are largely celebrating these actions. It's so great to see an administration that is really committed to making sure Americans feel safe again, getting the wrong people that are here, that came here illegally, out of our country, back to where they belong, in prison if it needs to be the situation. What do you say? What's your message to the Trump administration as we watch them battling this judge, working around the clock to make sure that we don't have to go back to the way things were over the last 4 years?
I'd say thank you. Thank you for doing what you promised to do. And that is what we should really be celebrating for one of the few times a politician's trying to back up what he said he was going to do. This is what President Trump said he was going to do when he ran. He's going to keep this safe. He's going to lock down immigration, and all the things he said he was going to do, and people voted for it. And now people say, well, that's not what I want. Well, it doesn't matter what you want. It's what's in the best interest of this country, what's in the best interest of the citizens.
Amen to that, Coach. We'll leave it there. We can also say thank you, Mr. President, and to the administration for the great work that's being done. We here at AFPI celebrate it, and Coach, we celebrate you. So glad to have you back with us for another week of this culture conversation.